topic this evening. And without further ado, we'll return the microphone over to you.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, tonight we're going to discuss the 7 secrets of confession. All of my information comes from the book of the same title, 7 Secrets of Confession by Vinnie Flynn.
It's all right.
Let's start by being honest. Confession is not our idea of a fun thing to do on Saturday afternoon. We all want to be a good Catholic, and we want to receive communion. So whenever we become aware that we have committed serious sin, our guilt will prompt us to go to confession. This is what confession means to most of us, and not something to be desired just for itself. Confession and communion are 2 entirely different things, and their only relationship is that one is the prerequisite for the other. I want to receive communion, so I must go to confession. Our understanding of confession may be so limited and narrow in its focus that it keeps us from discovering the real beauty and value in this sacrament. There are no real secrets here, but simply a truth that for some reason lays hidden in our hearts and need to be rediscovered. So, if you've not yet experienced confession as a wonderful personal encounter with God, if you do not yet look forward to going to confession with the same eagerness and expectation you have when going to communion, then please listen on. This may change your life. Secret 1. Sin does not change God. Sin is not just about behavior, it's about relationship. We are not here by accident. God did not simply create us, but He fathered us, and He continues to father us today. His love for each of us is personal and forever, and His focus is not on our behavior, but on our relationship with Him. One simple definition of sin is turning your face away from God. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, number 1850, says, sin sets itself against God's love for us and turns our heart. Sin sets itself against God's love for us and turns our hearts away from Him. When we sin, we turn not only our faces away from God, but the rest of us as well. Our minds, our hearts, our spirits. God never causes separation that results from our sin. He never turns His face or His heart from us. Secret 2. It's not just about forgiveness. If I were to ask you this simple question, if you could use only one word to explain the purpose of confession, what would that word be? The answer will invariably be the same: forgiveness. But that's the wrong answer. Yes, confession is about forgiveness, but that is just one part of a much broader purpose. And the word that best expresses that purpose is healing. We go to confession simply wanting our sins forgiven and not realizing that He wants to do much more. He wants to heal us of our attitudes, distorted desires, problems, and wounds that cause us to continue to sin. If you look for information about confession in the Catechism, you will not find it under forgiveness. You will find it under sacraments of healing. Catechism number 1999 explains that this grace is infused into our soul to heal it of sin and to sanctify it. Notice that the Catechism does not say to forgive it of sin, but to heal and sanctify or make holy. Secret 3. Your sin is different from my sin. Your sin is different from my sin because what is a mortal sin for me may only be a venial sin for you. What is a mortal sin for you may only be a venial sin for me. We may both do the same wrong actions, but our degree of culpability for those actions may be extremely different. Only God can actually judge whether this sin for you is mortal or venial. And see Catechism number 1862. God sees every big and little thought, word, and action with complete clarity. God, and only God, is aware of all the circumstances surrounding every action you commit. And He is aware of all that is in the mind and heart when you commit it. So only God can judge how guilty you are and how mortally you have sinned. An action doesn't become a mortal or venial sin because of what it is, but rather because of what it does. Venial sins and mortal sins do different things. What a difference this understanding can make to you. God has poured His love into our hearts, and we are called to live in that love and express it through our actions or charity. The Church teaches that each venial sin wounds or weakens this charity inside us. But mortal sin doesn't merely wound the charity, it destroys it. Again, see Catechism number 1855. Father David Knight writes, quote, "Every sin is simply a failure to respond as we should." At the beginning of Mass, there's a phrase from the Confiteor during the penitential rite that we all say, "I confess that I have sinned in what I have done and in what I have failed to do." What I have done. This is very easy for us to recognize. It is very easy to get caught up in a "thou shalt not" orientation, where we focus primarily on the things we should not do, trying our best to avoid evil, refrain from thoughts, words, and deeds that are not good. Is this wrong? No, of course not. But there is a higher level of awareness, of striving, where we try to focus on what we should do, moment by moment. What I have failed to do, this is a bit harder for us to recognize. We need to remember that sin is not just about actions, not just about rules and regulations, and not the same for everyone. It is very personal and specific to each person's unique relationship with God. Yes, God wants you to avoid sinful actions, but there are also personal and unique things He is asking you to do, moment by moment, that may be different from the things He is asking someone else to do. A little example. Suppose you usually sleep soundly through the night, but suddenly you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night feeling uncomfortable and finding it hard to fall asleep again. Perhaps this is God's way of telling you that He wants you to spend that time in prayer for someone. God the Father gives us the grace through Christ to respond in accordance to His will at that moment. To fail to respond is sin. Now, come by next Wednesday at 6 o'clock in our trailer to continue with the following secrets. Secret 4, confession is never really private. 5, you've got mail. 6, new wine needs new skins. Number 7, you have to let go of your chains. Plus, there will be a bonus secret that I will keep secret for now. Thank you.